Hi there. I'm here to comment today about the revelation that our former leader, NDP Leader Jagmeet Singh, had been under surveillance and had been receiving protective security for threats for his life. As it has been indicated by the whole commission, foreign interference is real, transnational repression is real, and people from the diaspora community are being threatened, their lives are being threatened. And in fact, what we do know is that Mr. Niger was murdered and assassinated. There is credible evidence from the RCMP that these threats are tied to the Indian government, to Prime Minister Modi and his office. And it is so shocking to me that the Canadian government, Prime Minister Carney, would actually invite Modi to come to Canada for the G7 summit. This in the face of the fact that foreign interference, transnational repression, threats to Canadians is not some distant thing that's happening somewhere else. It's happening right here on Canadian soil. And, this is not just about diplomacy. It is about protecting Canada's sovereignty. It is about protecting Canadians and their safety. This is reaffirming what many people from the Sikh community has feared and have known to be real, that they are being targeted, these threats are real, and the Canadian government must act. And I'm re-initiating the call for Prime Minister Carney to disinvite Modi to come to Canada for the G7 summit.
As someone who's been a target of foreign interference yourself, does this worry you at all that the Modi invitation could invite other bad actors to continue their own interference operations, seeing like we can do these things, but also have a working relationship with Canada on things like trade or other economic goals?
It is deeply concerning because you're sending all the wrong message to say that this is happening right under your nose and the government is just kind of saying, oh, well, it's okay because our economy and our economic interest is more important. The Liberal government, Prime Minister Mark Carney, needs to recognize the threats to Canada's sovereignty. There are many fronts to it. One, of course, is economic with the threats from Trump, but the other is foreign interference. Foreign interference actors, if we do nothing, if we invite the Prime Minister and our government, that RCMP has credible evidence to link them to the threats and to the assassination of a Canadian, of the threats to our former leader in that way, and we still will invite them and roll out the red carpet for them to come to Canada, we are sending a clear message that foreign interference is not a concern for the Canadian government. We're sending a clear message to those who are under threat, who fear these threats, that they don't matter. And that is not okay.
Does your party believe that Jagmeet Singh is currently under active threat, and is that why his police protection should be restored?
Well, the fact is that we received this information, it's now become public, and I think it is really important to ensure that all Canadians are provided the protection that they need. It's not up to me to decide whether or not his protection should be restored, but that certainly is a question that should be considered, and certainly should be a dialogue with Jagmeet and his family about this. And equally important is this point. It's not just elected officials who might come under threat. I myself have experience and will be an evergreen target for the Chinese government. But it's not just elected officials. Everyday Canadians are under threat as well, and they also deserve protection. And so where is the Liberal government on this file? Since Mark Carney has become the Prime Minister of Canada, where is he on this file? Has he actually undertaken the confidential and security briefings from CSIS and other law enforcement agencies? Is he aware that this is actually happening right now on Canadian soil? If so, why is he extending that invite to Modi, who is a direct threat to Canadians? And if he hasn't undertaken those briefings, why not? And it is shocking to me. And to this day, we still yet have we're still waiting for the government to enact the foreign agent registry. What is the delay? What are we waiting for? We went through an entire inquiry with that work. And that's all said and done. The inquiry is done, recommendations are sitting there, and the government says, oh, well, great. And then nothing happens. Wow.
Mark Carney has said this is how diplomacy works. You need to get these people at the table so you can talk through these issues and move forward. This morning, one of the Sikh representatives said that the Prime Minister was perhaps being naive. Do you think he's being naive, or does he know what he's doing here?
Well, is the Prime Minister then saying that you can't actually sit down and engage in discussions with other foreign countries without inviting them and rolling the red carpet out for them to come to Canada, right at a time we're on the cusp of the 2nd anniversary of the murder of Mr. Naija. And so far, the Indian government has refused to cooperate, refused to collaborate in any way with the investigation. And so I don't know what the Prime Minister is trying to achieve, but one thing that he needs to achieve is to say to Canadians and to demonstrate to Canadians that foreign interference is serious, that he is taking it seriously, and transnational repression is something that we will not tolerate, that we will be there to protect Canadians, and that we will send that message to all the foreign interference actors.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.